ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهد الله فهو المهتد ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته اللهم يا عليم يا حكيم علمنا ما جهلنا وذكرنا ما نسينا سبحانك لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل اللهم علمنا ما ينفعنا وانفعنا بما علمتنا يا رب العالمين. Dear brothers, inshallah, despite that last week we are not able to have this meeting again due to some inconveniences, but inshallah now we will continue on in this book named KABA'IR, written by Imam al-Zahabi rahimahullah ta'ala. If you could remember, still we are in this chapter, the chapter that is telling us more about the abandoning our prayers upon the rightful time. Still, this chapter is really bold. We have so many sub-chapters under this chapter. So bear with the situation. We'll be learning it bit by bit, inshallah. May Almighty Allah give us the ability to implement all what we have been hearing up to this moment. Today, inshallah, we'll continue from where we made mention of the person that is no longer observing his prayer upon its rightful time. According to the hadith of reported and narrated by Abdullah bin Abbas radiyallahu ta'ala anhuma قال إذا كان يوم القيامة يؤتي برجل فيوقف بين يدي الله عز وجل فيأمر به إلى النار فيقول يا رب لماذا؟ فيقول الله تعالى لتأخير الصلاة عن أوقاتها وحلفك بي كاذبا. In the day of judgment, there will be a person that will brought off Almighty Allah for the judgment. So that person will be stationed facing Almighty Allah. Despite that, the day of judgment, we have been hearing that especially those that are believers, they will really see Almighty Allah. According to the hadith reported by Imam Bukhari or Muslim, saying our Holy Prophet mentioned that innakum satarawna rabbukum ayanan. Surely you will see your Lord, you see Almighty Allah vividly in the day of judgment. So that person will be brought to Almighty Allah. Then Almighty Allah will ask the angels that let them channel the person to the hellfire. He will ask them to take the person to the hellfire. Then the person will ask Almighty Allah, Ya Rasulullah, why am I going to the hellfire? Then Almighty Allah will answer the person that due to the fact that you used to abandon your prayers upon the rightful time. You then used to observe your prayers upon the rightful time. That's the essence of you going to the hellfire. Remember the fact that it is not mean that he then used to observe the prayers at all. Rather, he used to delay his prayers upon the rightful time. This is the main reason that this person will be channeled towards the hellfire. Then another way, you used to take an oath, you used to swear with me, but despite that, you are saying wrong. This is halaful kaziba. Then, wa Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam qal, then our Holy Prophet said, yawman li ashabihi, one day to the Sahaba, Allahumma la tad'a fina shaqiyan wa la mahruman. ثم قال صلى الله عليه وسلم أتدرون من الشقي المحروم؟ قالوا من هو يا رسول الله؟ قال تارك الصلاة. Our Holy Prophet mentioned that one day to his Sahaba, Oh Almighty Allah, don't let each and every person that is shaqi and he is mahrum. The rightful meaning of shaqi is nobody rather what? The person among the hell dwellers. That's the shaqi. Then mahruman, muharamin arahmatillah, the one that is no longer what? Pertaining, he will no longer partake in any what part of Allah's blessing. Then our Holy Prophet asks his Sahaba saying that, do you know who this person is? Do you know him? The person that is shaky at the same time is mahrum. Then they said, Man huwa ya Rasulallah, who is he? Then our Holy Prophet mentioned that he is Tariqu Salah, the one that he used to abandon his prayers upon their rightful time. He is this person. He will no longer enter into the paradise. وروي أنه أول من يسود يوم القيامة وجوه تارك الصلاة. It was then reported again that the person that in the day of judgment is the first person that his face will look so dark, black face. He will wake up with his black face in the day of judgment. Who is that person? He is the person that used to abandon his prayer upon his rightful time. In the day of judgment, there are so many signs and marks attached to different group of people. Some will see him with like one sign in his face, some with one line, or so many like clarification on their faces. But that person is the person exactly that his face will look dark. There is nothing like light in his face. Why so? Because he used to abandon his prayer often at his rightful time. Then our Holy Prophet mentioned again, وَإِنَّ فِي جَهَنَّمْ وَادٍ يُقَالُ لَهُ الْمَلْحَمُ. Yes, in the Jahannam, in the hell, there is one location, there is one area, there is one corner. That corner is being called Al-Malham. Then وَفِيهِ حَيَّاتٌ. Inside of that corner, there is so many snakes inside. وَكُلُّ حَيَّةٍ تَسْخَنُ رَقَبَةَ الْبَعِيرِ. And the size of this snake, it is exactly similar to what? To the thickness of the what? Of the neck of what? Of a camel, or of a camel. That's how the size of this snake is. Then in terms of its length, it is similar to what? Exactly like a month journey. A month journey, that's its length, the length of this snake. Then what will happen? That snake will be attached to the person that used to abandon his prayer upon its rightful time. This snake is just meant for the person. Then this snake will be what? Will be putting his venom onto the body of this person. Whenever this snake just spits, just discharge his venom onto the body of this person, definitely what will happen? All the Moses of this person will be what? Will be washed away, will be washed down. That's another punishment in the day of judgment. Why so? Just he used to abandon his prayer often at his rightful time. Hikayah. This is Hikayat. This is one like information given with regard to some prophets that used to come before our holy prophets, before our time. So this Hikayah used to happen during the time of Prophet Musa alayhi salam. What happened during that time? Anna imra'atan min bani Israel ja'at ila Musa alayhi salam. One woman just came down to the Prophet Musa alayhi salam. فقالت, then she said to Annabi Musa, Ya Rasulallah, inni aznabtu zamban aziman. Oh Prophet Musa, surely I commit a very good, major, very big sin. I committed it. وَقَدْ تُبْتُ مِنْهُ إِلَى اللَّهِ تَعَالَى. So now I'm coming directly to Almighty Allah, just to what? Just in order to repent what I did. Then فَدَعُوا اللَّهَ أَنْ يَغْفِرَ لِي ذَنْبِي وَيَتُوبَ عَلَيَّ. Oh Prophet Musa, ask Almighty Allah for me. Ask Almighty Allah on my behalf for my forgiveness. Please seek forgiveness for me from Almighty Allah. Then فَقَالَ لَهَا مُوسَى عليه السلام. Then Prophet Musa asked that what? That woman, وَمَا ذَنْبُكِ? So what is this sin did you commit? قالت, then she said, Ya Nabiullah, O Prophet, inni zanait, I perform adultery, I commit adultery. What will it? Then I give birth to a boy, then walada to a boy, then I qataltu. Then later on I killed this boy. I performed zina, and I gave birth to a boy, then I killed the boy. Let's look at this major sin. He committed zina, at the same time, After zina, she killed the boy after delivering the boy. Then فَقَالَ لَهَا مُوسَى عَلَيْهِ السَّلَامُ. Then the Prophet Musa said to the woman, أَخْرِجِي يَا فَارِجَةُ. Oh, look at you, Fajira, ya Fajira. Just get away from me. Just leave me alone. Just get away. Go your own way. Now what Prophet Musa said to that woman. Why is he chasing her away? He said, لا تنتظر نارا من السماء فتحرقنا بشؤمك. At least with this what you commit, a hellfire can just descend down from the heaven just and come and what? Burn all whatever is here, including us. So you should leave before this happens to us. Just leave us alone. This is very major. You commit something that we can no longer afford to do it. Then فَخَرَجَتْ مِنْ إِنْدِهِ وَكَسُورَةَ الْقَلْبِ. That woman just went out from Prophet Musa. She is what? Really disappointed, discouraged. She is really discouraged, despite that she really intended to refer to Almighty Allah. But Prophet Musa discouraged her and sent her away. That was happened to her. Then after that, another Jibril alayhi salam. Then the angel Jibril came down to Prophet Musa. Then he said, Ya Musa, oh you Musa, Rabbi ta'ala yuqalu lak lima radadtu ta'ibati ya Musa. Almighty Allah is saying, oh you Musa, why are you chasing this woman that's just came to the Almighty Allah in order to show her repentance? Why are you chasing her away? Oh Musa, why did you do that? Why you chase her away? Then Almighty Allah mentioned to the angel, saying that he conveyed this to Prophet Musa. Amma wajadtu shara minha. Oh you Musa, don't you know that there is something that is more bigger compared to what this woman just commits? He just performs zina and just kill off the boy. Don't you know that there is one sin that is far much beyond this? Don't you know that, Ya Musa? Then the Prophet Musa said, Ya Jibril, وَمَنْ هُوَ شَرٌّ مِنْهَا. What is that sin that is far much beyond this, what this woman commits? Then Jibril said to Prophet Musa, Tariqu salat amdan muta'ammidan. Just to abandon your salat of it is rightful time. This is something that is much far bigger compared to what this performing zina and killing this boy, as far this woman did. Just for you to abandon your salat of it is rightful time. This is for you just to perform zina, just kill the boy, is much simpler compared to you abandoning your salat of it is rightful time. That's what Prophet Angel Jibril just said down to the Musa according to what Almighty Allah commanded him to send. Then Hikayat al-Ukhra, the next Hikayah, Amba al-Salaf, Annahu ata uqtal lahu matat. One day he visited one of his sisters that already died during her janaza, during her funeral prayer. So he just convened her funeral up to her graveyard. What's happened? Fasakada khaysun minhu fihi malun fi kabariha. Then one of his bags, just handbags with his money inside, just fell down into the graveyard of the grave of that his sister of his sister. Then falam yush'ur bihi ahadan hatta insarafa an kabariha. Then there is no one that noticed out that this is what happened. Meaning his bag just fell into the grave of that his sister. There is no one that come to notice that. Then summa dhakarahu. Then later on, after this his sister's already been buried, then just he remembered that, yes, sure, my bag just fell into the grave of that my sister. Then faraja ila kabariha. Then he just came down to the cover of this his sister. Fanabashahu ba'ada ma insarafa an-nas. Then he just opened it, after which all the people that just convey her funeral, they already dispersed. There is no one there. Just he come down again to the grave and open the grave. Then what's happened? What's happened to the cover? He just noticed out that now it is the hellfire that is coming out from the cover. During the time that it's opening. Just it is the fire that is just coming out from the cover. Yes, then farad turaba alayha. Then he just get back the soil and buried the grave again. What's happened? Waraja ila ummihi bakiyan hazinan. Then he just go back to his mother. he is crying with what? With discouraged mind. He just went back to his what? To his mother. Despite that is his sister. They shared the same mother or even the same father. So this is what is happening to his sister's grave. He just go back to what? To his mother and ask her. Then he said, Ya Abba, oh my dear mother, akhbirni an ukhti wa ma kanat ta'mal. Please shed more light on my sister. What is she used to do? What is she doing? Just I see so. Call it. Then his mother asked him, Wa ma su'alaka anha. Why are you asking this? Why are you asking me on the situation of your sister? Why this question now? Then he said, Ya ummi, oh my mother, ra'aytu qabri hayshul alayha an-nar. I really see her grave just getting into what? Into the fire. Just I see her grave, just the fire coming out, hellfire coming out from her grave. That's what I noticed out during the time, so I just went back. Call, he said, Babakat. Then his mother just started to cry as well. His mother started to cry as well. وقالت, then the mother said, Ya waladi, oh my son, كانت أختك تهاونا بالصلاة وتؤخرها عن وقتها. All what's happened to your sister is nothing other what? She used to what? To violate her prayers, and she used to what? To just delay her prayer upon its rightful time. She then used to pray upon its rightful time. Each and every salat that we used to do, there is proper time designation of this prayer. So please try to give what is necessary for you and compulsory of you. Then that was happened to what? To your sister. Then she added again, فَهَذَا حَالُ مَنْ يُؤَخِّرَ الصَّلَاةَ عَنْ وَقْتِهَا. This is exactly the situation that will going to happen to the person that used to delay his prayer upon his rightful time. So this is exactly what is happening to your sister. This is nothing other what just used to delay her prayer upon what it is rightful time. This is the essence of this her what? Her punishment in her grave. Even this is the starting point. It's just from her grave. What will happen to her in the day of judgment? Please let's consider that. Then فَكَيْفَ حَالُ مَنْ لَا يُصَلِّي. Now exactly what will happen to the person that is no longer praying? This is the person that used to delay his prayers upon their rightful time. What will happen to the person that he didn't use to pray at all? Then the Malan said, فَنَسْأَلُ اللَّهَ تَعَالَى أَنْ يُعِينَنَا عَلَى الْمُحَافَظَةِ عَلَيْهَا. We ask Almighty Allah to help us in order to take care of all our prayers upon their rightful time. في أوقاتها إنه جواد كريم. Then fasl, the next fasl, في عقوبة من ينقر الصلاة. What will happen to the person that used to do an-naqar fi salati? What is that naqar? That's, we used to call it like exactly the way that the peacock, the wild, the wolf, how the wolf used to drink his water. Just he used to do up and down. Yanquru fi salati. Just he then used to give proper ruku and sujood in salah. What will happen to that person? Then, وَلَا يَتِمُّ رُكُوعَهَا وَلَا سُجُودَهَا. It's exactly the person that used to give exactly the ruku of his salah and the sujood of his salah. Then, مَا هِيَ عُقُوبَتُهُمْ. What is that? Their punishment. وَقَدْ رُوِيَ فِي تَفْسِيرِ قَوْلِ اللَّهِ تَعَالَى. It is already been reported in the tafsir of this ayah. Almighty Allah is mentioning that وَوَيْلٌ لِلْمُصَلِّينَ الَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنْ صَلَاتِهِمْ سَاهُونَ. Then, verily, the punishment really upon the person that used what? To perform prayer. Who is that person? الَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنْ صَلَاتِهِمْ سَاهُونَ. Those group of people that they used to saha and salati and salawati. They used just to abandon, to violate their prayers, open their rightful time as well as open their rightful deeds. That's what our Holy Prophet said, mentioned. Sallu kama ra'aytumuni usalli. Just perform your prayers exactly the way you see me observing, performing my prayers. Are we really following the rightful acts, the rightful teaching of the sunnah of this prayer? Since from our standing, since our takbir, all our actions, are they really in line with what our Holy Prophet mentioned to us, taught us? How are we going with the Sifati Salat Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam? Are we really performing that? Are we really copying from that? Or are we doing our own? So remember, if we are doing your own, that's you are doing something bid'ah. This is no longer in accordance with what will Almighty Allah consider and accept from you. This is bid'ah, so definitely this will no longer be recorded from you. So be able to perform your prayer exactly the way our Holy Prophet used to observe. Since from what? From your standing, So at least we need to take care of all this. This will really help us. That's exactly what you will be at the safer side. Then what is happening with this ayah, according to the tafsir, then ulama tafasir they mention that annahu alladhi yanquru salat wa la yutimmu ruku'aha wa la sujudaha. It is exactly those group of people that they don't use to perform good sujood and good ruku in their prayers. They are those, often those that what these two ayat just revealed. وَيْلٌ لِلْمُصَلِّينَ الَّذِينَ هُمْ عَنْ صَلَاتِهِمْ سَاهُونَ. They don't use to do proper ruku, they don't use to do proper sujood. وثبت في الصحيحين, it is already been reported in Imam Bukhari or Muslim, and Abi Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala anhu, reported by Imam Abi Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala anhu, أن رجلا دخل المسجد. One day one person just entered into the masjid, ورسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم جالس فيه, and the Holy Prophet is just sitting inside the masjid. That person فصلى الرجل, that person just performed his prayer. ثم جاء فسلم على النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. This is the sunnah of the Sahaba. When they perform their prayer, they will come, then they will perform a taslim towards our Holy Prophet. They will say, Assalamu alaikum ya Rasulallah. Those person just come, just to our Holy Prophet and just greet him like this. Then Farad alayhi salam. Then our Holy Prophet just accepted his word, his salam, with what wa alaykum salam wa rahmatullah. Then thumma qala lahu. Then our Holy Prophet said to the person, Irji' fasalli fa innaka lam tusalli. Oh, you person, go back and pray again. Due to the fact that you didn't pray anything. You didn't pray, so go back and pray again. That was our Holy Prophet mentioned to the person. Then faraja fasalli kama salla. That person go back again and perform his prayer again. Then he come back and say assalamu alaikum to what? To our Holy Prophet. The same thing happened again. Our Holy Prophet mentioned to the person, Irji' fasalli fa innaka lam tusalli. Then it happens 3 times. Then that person فقال والذي بعثك بالحق يا رسول الله ما أحسن غيره. Oh, our Holy Prophet, I swear with Almighty Allah that I can't be able to perform prayer better than this that I'm performing. But, oh Holy Prophet, teach me how to do this. This happens since during the time of Prophet time, our Holy Prophet time. Look at the gap from now on. And exactly this person is among the Sahaba. Now you are no longer part of the Sahaba. You are no longer part of Salafus Salih, even Salafus Salih. You are no longer part of Tabi. You are no longer part of Tabi'in. How are you performing your prayer? Let me just throw this question. How much time did you go and sit in front of your teacher just to teach you how to perform prayer? Believe me that, like, if we are 100, like, you have only 10 to 20% that just sat in front of their teacher just and what? Taught them how to pray from the beginning up to the end. We just used to see our brothers and sisters, our parents just doing it. We just raised up like that. We started to pray this way. And believe me again that we have been doing this up to this time. Just with little exception. Are we really performing prayer? So remember, whatever you are doing without the knowledge of that thing, you are no longer doing this. So at least spare your time and go and learn. You don't have any excuse that you don't know how to do it. There is nothing like this excuse. You will have excuse, but within what? Just reasonable time. But beyond that time, you don't have any excuse. That person, he was being called Al-Musi'u Salah. That's the name given to this person, Al-Musi'u Salah. So then the ulama, they started to write so many books on this. Now we have only one hadith. So starting from Imam Bukhari, he just read, even in his book, not even Adam, no, not Adam Mewar, even in his Sahih Bukhari, he has just a particular chapter, just KITABUL Salah. Under the KITABUL Salah, in Sahih Bukhari, we have that. Then we have prominent book of this, our great scholar, named Sifatus Salat Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. That Sifatus Salat, the Salat is based on this recommendation. But despite that, here we have only one hadith. But we have so many hadith under this hadith. This is one hadith, but we have 7 of them. Since from what? From standing. How are we supposed to stand? During takbir. While raising our hands. Are we supposed to merge our raising hands and saying at takbir at the same time? Allahu Akbar. Or are we expected to say Allahu Akbar, then raise up? Or are we expected to raise up and just release our hand then and say Allahu Akbar? We have so many things like this. So just you are following the trends. Starting from, even from the facing your Qibla up to the time that you will go say Assalamu alaikum. So we have so many hadith under that. Are we really Are we really managing to learn this? Remember, brothers and sisters, we don't have much time. You don't know where you will finish. And you have been committing, you have been performing your prayer this week. Please be able to spare your time. Just learn exactly how to do what things in Islam. You don't have any excuse doing something like unknowingly. This is no longer accepted in Islam. At least you need to know what you are doing exactly. Then, our Holy Prophet mentioned to the person, إِذَا قُمْتَ إِلَى الصَّلَاةِ. Okay, if you stand in your prayer for kabir, what you need to do first is what? Make your takbir. This takbir is called takbirat al-ihram. This is the first takbir in your salat. Takbirat al-ihram. So this is necessary in your prayer. It is part of your obligatory. What will happen to the person that he didn't perform this takbira? Definitely you don't have salah. And niya, wa takbirat al-ihram, two of these, if you perform your prayer without these two, you don't have that prayer. Just repeat your prayer. They are your obligatory. One hadith of our Holy Prophet mentioned that Miftahu Salah at takbir. That's the opener. Now you're opening your prayer with what? With this takbira. Then the end clothing. The clothing end is your taslim. When you are saying Assalamu alaikum, that's when you are getting out from your prayer. It was being called takbirat al-ihram. Why al-ihram? Kullu shay'in ba'daha haram. So there is not any act behind this your takbira. So whenever you say Allahu Akbar, it is exactly takbirat al-ihram. This is raising hands. The raising hand is different from what? Takbirat al-ihram. So Allahu Akbar is your first takbirat. So you are saying Allahu Akbar. At the same time, you are raising your hands up to the level of your shoulder or to the level of your what? Of your ears. We have the hadith that are mentioning this. At least if you want to obey, if you want to abide by the sunnah, you should stop doing this. Allahu Akbar. You should stop doing this. Allahu Akbar. You should stop doing whatever you want. At least be doing what? Exactly how the Prophet taught us to do. Just raise your hands up to the level of your ears, or you raise them up to the level of your shoulders. That's when you are what? You are going towards, you are abiding by the sunnah of our Holy Prophet. As mentioned in this hadith, Sallu kama ra'aytumuni usalli. But besides that, now you are doing your prayer. You are no longer performing prayer of our Holy Prophets. So each and every step that you are taking, so you have what? The rightful way. And you have different one. That's the essence of, we have so many books, even this, the prominent one that I can recall, despite most Africans, they must know the book, they must know the scholar, named by SHEHU Suman bin Fodio. Ihya Sunnah wa Kamal al-Bid'ah. In this Ihya Sunnah, you will be hearing about what is that Sunnah, what is that Bid'ah. What are we performing upon the rightful acts? What are we violating? The Sunnah of our Holy Prophets. Then, فَكَبِّرْ ثُمَّ قَرَأَ مَا تَيَسَّرَ مَعَكَ. Look at the keyword. ثُمَّ قَرَأَ مَا تَيَسَّرَ مَعَكَ مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ. Then, after takbir, then read what you have in mind, what you memorize out of Quran. In Salat al-Farida, you don't need to look into Quran, unless in only one condition. The condition that you can no longer perform your Fatiha better. If you can no longer perform your Fatiha better, so you must perform it even with the help of this Quran or any Allah, anything that will show you how to read it out. But besides that, if it happens that this is in surah, you don't need to do that. So what will happen to the person that don't know exactly how to read the Fatiha? Maybe he is the person that it is now just that is converting into Islam. He don't know how to read Fatiha. And he must pray. And our Holy Prophet mentioned that La salat liman lam yaqra biha bi ummi al-Quran. Whoever perform prayer without reading his Fatiha in that prayer, definitely that his prayer is a rejected prayer. So what will happen to the person? So then another hadith reported by Imam Bukhari or Imam Nasai saying that whoever doesn't know how to read Fatiha, so he being given a chance to say Subhanallah walhamdulillah wa la ilaha illallah wallahu akbar, that will be over for you. This is enough for your Fatiha. Due to the fact that you don't know how to read Fatiha. But you don't need to look into Quran while reading what surah. That's the essence of Summa qara'a ma tayassara ma'aka min al-Quran. And here look at something. In this hadith, there is no mention of what? Dua al-istiftah. What does that mean? This is telling us that you don't need to do what? Dua al-istiftah, but it is optional. Yes, it is good addition, it is a part of sunnah. But if you pray without performing dua al-istiftah, what will happen to your prayer? Your prayer is good, it's excellent. Your prayer is indeed good. You don't need to do what? You don't have any problem with your prayer. But at least it is a part of the sunnah to perform a dua al-istiftah. But here in this hadith, there is no mention of what bawal istifta. Then ثم اركع حتى تطمئن راكعا. Then perform your ruku. In this your ruku, exactly be what? Be straight. Just be able to be what? Straight in your ruku. Since from the beginning, focus your eye onto the place that you perform your sujood. That's the essence of one hadith mentioned by our Holy Prophet that أما يخشى الذي يرفع رأسه إلى السماء أما أن يحول رأسه رأس الحمار. Those that used to raise their heads up while praying, they don't want to fear that Almighty Allah by turn their faces into the faces of donkey. Whenever you are praying, focus your eye onto the place of your performance sujood. You are no longer to draw your head down. No, just to focus your eye. It is only your eye is vital there, not your head. Just your head as it is with your body. Just you don't use to do this. Don't just draw your head. Just leave it. It is exactly where it is. Just use your eye just to focus on the space of what? Of your sujood. Then that's what will achieve. Exactly what will happen to you in your what? In your ruku. So in your ruku, perform your ruku well. Don't raise up your hand, your head, and don't draw it down. This is according to the hadith reported by Nana Aisha alayha salam. That's what our Holy Prophet used to do. Then summa rafa. Then raise off from your ruku. Then ثم رفع. Then raise off from your ruku حتى تعتدل قائما until you what? You are straight. You are what? Steady in your standing. According to one hadith, حتى يأخذ كل عضو مقعده وفي رواية. Until all your joints have just gone back to what? To their original location or places. You don't use to do. The moment you raise up from your ruku, just go down to the sujood. No, this is not a act. That's the essence of this person. Man yanquru fi salati. Man huwa alladhi la yasjudu wa la yarka'u wa la huwa alladhi yanquru fi sujudi fi ruku'ihi wa sujudi. He don't use to perform good, better in his ruku and sujood. Thus there is what? There is punishment upon that. And as well, if you are what? If you are following your imam, we used to do this much at times. If you are following your imam, remember that our Holy Prophet mentioned that إِنَّمَا جُعِلَ الْإِمَامُ لِيُؤْتَمَّ بِهِ. Yes, surely imam he was being what? Set so that you can what? You can copy from him. You don't use to do together with him. You don't use before him. At least lead him to do so that you can follow him. And the hadith of Anas bin Malik, he said, when our Holy Prophet raised up from his ruku, we will raise. Then we don't use to do our sujood until we see our Holy Prophet while sujood. At least wait until your imam just get into his sujood. Then you will follow him later. But before your imam just reach his sujood, you are following behind him. You doing together. The moment he said Allahu Akbar, just you are going. Why? Where are you going? At least you must let your imam do before you. And even if you are in hurry, you must allow your imam to say Assalamu alaikum before you say your Assalamu alaikum. So what is that hurry for? At least be able to be on the right path. Then summa sujud, then perform your sujud hatta tatma'inna sajidan, until you are settled in your sujud. What is that settling? That's what our Holy Prophet mentioned in the hadith. He said, Umirtu an asjuda ala sab'ati a'zam. I was commanded, I was ordered to perform my sujud upon 6 what? Joint, 6 parts. Then he said, al-jabaha, forehead. But while saying forehead, he what? He showed his nose. The forehead and the nose as what? As one joint. Whenever you perform your sujood, your forehead must touch ground as well as your nose. Then he said, rukubatain, this is your what? Rukubatain, this is your what is this? Your hands. They must touch ground. And this, we have so many hadith that they are teaching us how to do this. One of these, our Holy Prophet just forbidding that whoever wants to perform sujood, he shouldn't what? Spread his hands on the ground. Exactly the way that's what the cat family animals used to do. You shouldn't spread your hands on the ground the way like the dog used to do. Just you spread your hand this way. No, this is your zara, this is your elbow. At least you need to raise it from the ground. You shouldn't leave it on the ground. It is only this your kafi that will touch ground. And as well as some, they used to do only this with their fingers. They will only do something like this. They are only their fingers. This is not rightful act as well. And as well, there is another hadith that is saying, this your what? Your elbow, you should what? Distance this your elbow from what? This is your side. This your hips. You must what? Distance it. You shouldn't what? Attach this your elbow to this one. As well as your what? Your femur muscles. You must distance your hand from there. We have all this hadith. Then we have what? Our knee while sujooding. All two of your knees must what? Touch ground. And the what? The index fingers of your what? Of your leg. These two fingers, the large fingers, you must what? They must touch ground. And you must focus them towards the Qibla. You must focus them towards the Qibla. While what? While performing your sujood. You shouldn't do them like this. You should just focus them towards the Qibla. That's exactly how you perform your sujood. Then, summa jilis hatta tatma'inna jalisan. Then you raise from your sujood and sit. So here we have different sitting according to the Sunnah of our Holy Prophet. We have Iqa'il Julus, Iqa. Then we have Mutafarish. We have Mutawarrik. We have all these type of sitting. So if it happens that your sitting is in between sujood and sujood, you can perform Mutawarrik al-Julus. You can perform Iqa'il Julus. Even this Iqa is of three types. There is Iqa'il Kird, there is Iqa'il Jamal, and there is Iqa'il Ash-Shar'i. This Iqa'il Ash-Shar'i, it is exactly known that you're putting your legs and you are sitting on this wheel of your legs while your index fingers of your legs facing what? Facing Qibla. This is accepted. Why? Only in between what? Two sujood. That's where you are allowed to do this. If you won't do this, you can do Mutawarrik al-Julus. Then you spread your left leg, you sit on it, and you what? Nasab. Then you just pin the other one so that your index finger will face the Qibla. You can do this. And this is exactly the type of sitting that will perform in Thunafiyat Salah. The Salah with what? 2 rak'ah. Like the Jum'ah prayer and the Subh prayer. This is exactly the type of sitting that we will use to do. This is according to the Sunnah of our Holy Prophets. Then the last one is Mutafarish al-Julus. The Julus that we used to perform while what? If we are performing Salat with 3 rak'ah or Salat with 4 rak'ah. While pushing your leg inner side, just sitting at your what? At your left side. While you will what? You will bend your what? Your right leg. This is Mutafarish al-Julus. So we have this 3 types of Julus. But there is those that are no longer accepted by the Sharia. So we don't have time for that. Let's just move ahead. Then some masjid, go back to your sujood again until you are settled in your this sujood. Then perform your tasbih. Then our Holy Prophet mentioned to the person that continue to do like this until you finish up your prayer. So here, like, we had our debrief on how to do this prayer. But in each rukun, in each of these rukun, we have what? More explanations. We have more hadith on how to do that. While raising hands, how to do that. While qira'at al-Quran, how to do that. Are we expected to start with A'udhu Billah? Or are we expected to start with Bismillah? Are we expected to silence them? What are we supposed to do? What does ulama say about that? So we have that. Qira'at al-Fatiha, how are we going to do it? Are we supposed to match 2 ayats? How our Holy Prophet used to perform his qira'at according to the Sifat Salat while praying? Is he matching two ayats while praying? Is he standing at the end of each? Is he stopping at the end of each ayah? How is he doing? So we have this. Then going to sujood, ruku. How are we doing? Sujood, all this. So we have so many things. We have so many hadith, several of them. So at least we need to spare our time so that you can see this through. Then one way Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal radiallahu ta'ala anhu. Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal reported that An Badri radiallahu anhu qala Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Then our Holy Prophet mentioned that La tujzi'u salat la yuqimu rajul fiha sulbahu fi ruku'i wa sujud. This salat is no longer valid to the person that he don't use to stretch his back. He don't use to stretch his back in his ruku' and his sujud. that salat is no longer valid. And in one hadith, our Holy Prophet said that the worst out of the thieves, the one that used to snatch something from you, the worst one is the one that used to snatch in his prayer. The Sahaba said, "Oh, Ya Rasulullah, how can someone make a theft in his prayer?" He said he then used to perform good ruku and good sujud. That person is what? Is the thief of his prayer. He will be accounted for that. Even thief, Almighty Allah mentioned that wasariq wasariq at faqad awaydihuma jazaan bima kasaba nakala min Allah. If it happens that someone just perform thefting, we'll just catch him so that you can cut off his head. If he perform again, we'll cut off his. If this right hand, now left leg. Perform again, left hand. Perform again, left leg. Will be doing like this. What will happen to the person that just stepped in his prayer? What punishment are we going to give the person? So this is something unspeakable. Thus, it is exactly Almighty Allah that will punish this. So even the punishment of human beings will be just simpler compared to the punishment of Almighty Allah. So at least now we'll be so much ashamed to perform thefting. Is that not? But we don't use this appointed to perform thefting in our salats. Does that mean we are no longer praying for the sake of Allah? Does that mean we are no longer doing it for the sake of Allah? Does that mean we are doing it for just sake of someone's recognition? No, just do it. This is between you and Almighty Allah. Just do good. That will be better. That one you will have what? Comfort of your mind. You will be at the comfort zone. رواه أبو داود أيضا والترمذي وقال حديث حسن صحيح وفي رواية أخرى حتى يقيم ظهره في ركوع وسجود until he stretches his back on his ruku and his sujud. وهذا نص عن النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. This is another نص from our holy prophet. في أن من صلى ولم يقيم ظهره, whoever perform his prayer but without stretching his back, بعد ركوع, meaning after he raised up from his ruku, he don't use to stretch his back, والسجود كما كان, that's like as it is exactly how it is meant to be, فصلات مبادلة. That person, his salat is no longer acceptable. The moment you raise up from your ruku, you don't use to wait until you stretch your back. You will just directly go down to your sujud. Then our holy prophet said that's the salat mubadila. That salat is no longer accepted salat. That salat will no longer be accepted. Then وهذا في صلاة الفرض وقضاء ضماننا. This is exactly in the salat al-fard. Why in the salat al-fard according to this hadith? Due to the fact that it happened that this is a nafil prayer, you can perform it while sitting. We have that option. You can perform nafil prayer while sitting. But according to the hadith, if you perform nafil prayer while sitting, you will have the half reward as you perform it while standing. But it is not acceptable. But in salat al-faridah, whenever you perform prayer while sitting, despite you can perform it while standing, now your salat is no longer accepted. Even in these situations, we have like 7 situations. Situation number one is that you must perform your prayer while standing without any pillar. This is situation number one. The next situation is maybe you have any problem. You can't perform your prayer while standing, but you can perform it standing while you attach to something. While you have one pillar attached to you. So this is your second option. The next one is you perform your prayer while sitting. If you can't be able to perform it while standing with with your pillar. You can perform it sitting but without pillar. If you can't do that, you can perform your salat while sitting with pillar. This is situation number 4. The next situation is if you can't do that, you can perform your prayer while at your right side. Ala jambika al-ayman. Then if not possible, ala jambika al-aysar. If not possible, ala dhahari, while your head upward. If not, just as-salat huna al-ima ad-ras. We don't used to say much, but what you do all here is just start to show your prayer with your eyes. As far as your rightful sense, there is no account that the prayer is doing what? You will no longer be free from prayer. Only in one condition, that your sense is no longer with you. That's only when you will be excused. But even if you are at your bed, maybe dying bed, but you can recognize, you know what is all going on, you must perform your prayer. Even if you can't be able to move, do it with your eyes. That's the rightful teaching. You don't use to give any excuse. So, like, I can see the time, only 3 minutes more. So, I think we should stop here. The next is we will look at the completion of this. Then we will start to like the critical side. Performing prayer in your room. What will happen to the person doing that? You have the rightful chance to come down to the masjid and pray. Just you pray in your room. So we just like it is our next to consider. So is this your prayer valid or not? While you are a healthy person, you are good, you don't have any condition that will be considered, just perform your prayer in your room. So we hear that. So Nasalullah ta'ala tawfiq. Maybe if there is question maybe for the next 1 minute, we can address. Otherwise, we can close. Alaikum salam. Sitting of the prayer. Okay. We have Iqai Julus. Like I can see Zaid performing one. Let me see.
Let him just show each other.
Yes. Just turn around. This is Iqai Jaman. This is no longer accepted in Salat. This your fingers is facing backward. So this is no longer accepted. Do it again. No, don't go on. Yes, this one is no longer accepted. This is no longer valid. Yes. So the next one, Ika. So this is accepted only when in between two sujuds. Then the next one is mutawari. Yes, this one, if you are performing prayer that have 2 rak'ah, like the Jum'ah prayer and Subh prayer, you can perform this. And if you are sitting in between 2 sujud, you can perform this as well. Then the next one is mutafarish. This is mutafarish. You either do this with your right leg, or you can work an-nasab. You can pose your finger towards what the qibla. This is like the sitting accepted in Islam. Then the next one is ika il-ird. The way like the kird. Yes. What is kird? Monk used to sit like this way, like this. So this is no longer accepted. And as well, this is another ika. This is no longer accepted as well. It's no longer a rightful way of what? Sitting in salah. So we have all these kind. So at least you need to violate all such kind of sitting. They are not in accordance with the sunnah of God. This crossing, this is accepted. This is considered. We have the wire of this. No, you need to cross 2 legs. Yes, you need to cross like this. Yes, this is accepted in between the sujud as well.
In between two sujuds. So only two sujuds.
This is ika as well.
So it means that
this one is accepted
between 2 sujuds.
Yes, this one as well.
Only between 2 sujuds.
Yes, between 2 sujud. This is only accepted. Yes, they used to like swap. This is no longer accepted. The right one is the one that you would nasab. It is one that you use to fin down. While the left one is the one that you to sit on it. That's exactly the sunnah of our Holy Prophet. So we ask Almighty Allah to grant us success and Allah accept from us. ربنا اتنا في الدنيا حسنه وفي الاخره حسنه وقنا عذاب النار سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد ان لا اله الا انت نستغفرك ونتوب اليك الله تعالى اعلم. Aku